What if I told you that a single moment, a mix-up as simple as grabbing the wrong suitcase at the airport, could unravel two strangers' lives and send them spiraling into a mystery so wild it'll keep you glued to your screen? Imagine this. You're rushing through a crowded airport, exhausted, maybe a little grumpy, and you grab a bag that looks just like yours. No big deal, right? Except it's not your bag. And inside that bag is something or someone that changes everything. Welcome to Their Luggage Got Switched, and so did their fates. A story that's gonna twist your mind, tug at your heart, and leave you desperate for answers. Stick with me, because by the end of this introduction, you're gonna be hooked, wondering how two ordinary people got caught in a web of secrets, lies, and maybe even danger, all because of a little luggage mix-up. Let's dive in, and I promise, you're gonna want to watch this till the very last second to uncover the truth. Picture this, a bustling airport terminal in Chicago, the kind of place where everyone's in a hurry, nobody's making eye contact, and the air smells like coffee and stress. It's the holiday season. Think twinkling lights, cheesy Christmas music over the speakers, and a million people trying to get somewhere before the snow shuts it all down. You've been there, haven't you? That moment when you're standing at baggage claim, watching an endless parade of suitcases tumble onto the conveyor belt, praying yours shows up before you lose your mind. That's where we meet our two main characters, Sarah and Marcus. Sarah's a 32-year-old graphic designer from Seattle, the kind of person who plans every detail of her life but still feels like she's missing something big. She's got this vibrant energy, a laugh that makes strangers smile, but deep down, she's wrestling with a nagging question. Is this all there is? Then there's Marcus, a 40-year-old ex-cop turned private investigator from Atlanta. A guy who's seen too much to believe in happy endings but still carries a flicker of hope he doesn't admit to himself. They don't know each other. They've got no reason to cross paths. But fate, or something darker, has other plans. You see, Sarah and Marcus both grabbed the wrong suitcase at O'Hare International. And what's inside those bags isn't just clothes or souvenirs. It's the kind of secret that makes your heart race and your palms sweat. The kind that makes you wonder if you'd open the bag or run for the hills. I know you're curious. You're already imagining what could be inside, aren't you? Hold that thought, because I'm gonna give you the answers, but you've gotta stay with me. Now, let's talk about you for a second. You're here because you love a good story, right? A story that grabs you by the collar, pulls you in, and doesn't let go. You're the kind of person who binges true crime podcasts or gets lost in a thriller novel, always chasing that moment when the puzzle pieces click into place. I get it. I'm the same way. And I'm telling you right now, this story is for you. It's got everything you're craving. Mystery, suspense, a touch of romance, and those jaw-dropping plot twists that make you gasp out loud. You're not just watching this, you're living it with Sarah and Marcus, feeling their confusion, their fear, their determination to figure out what the heck just happened. I'm not here to waste your time with fluff or boring filler. Every second of this video is crafted to keep you on the edge of your seat, wondering what's around the next corner. You've felt that itch before, haven't you? That need to know why something happened, how it's all connected. I'm promising you right now. Stick with this video, and I'll give you those answers. You won't just get a story, you'll get a front row seat to a roller coaster that'll leave you shouting, "What just happened?" to your empty living room. Let's set the scene a little more, because I want you to feel this world we're stepping into. It's December 2024, and the holiday rush is in full swing. TikTok's blowing up with travel vlogs, Instagram's flooded with cozy airport selfies, and everyone's obsessed with those crazy travel stories trending on YouTube. You've seen those videos, titles like "Stranded at the Airport" or "My Worst Travel Nightmare." And they pull you in because they're relatable. We've all had a travel moment that went sideways. Maybe not as wild as Sarah and Marcus's, but enough to make you nod and say, "Yup, been there." So back to our story. Sarah's at baggage claim, her red Samsonite suitcase finally rolling into view. She's just flown in from a work conference, exhausted but relieved to be almost home. Marcus, on the other hand, is there on a job, tracking someone, though he's not saying who just yet. He's eyeing a black duffel bag, same brand as Sarah's suitcase, same scuff marks from years of travel. In the chaos of the crowd, they both reach for their bags at the same time. Except, oops, they grab the wrong ones. It's a mistake anyone could make. You've done it, haven't you? Reached for something that looked like yours, only to realize it wasn't? But for Sarah and Marcus, this isn't just a funny mix-up to laugh off. Inside those bags are clues to something bigger. Something that ties their lives together in ways they never could have imagined. Maybe it's a letter, a photo, a key to a lock they don't even know exists yet. I'm not gonna spoil it, but let's just say the contents of those bags are about to turn their worlds upside down. Why should you care about Sarah and Marcus? Because they're you. Okay, maybe not exactly, but they're real people with real struggles, just like you and me. Sarah's chasing a dream she can't quite define. She's got a good job, a cute apartment, but there's this emptiness she can't shake. Maybe you felt that too, that quiet ache for something more, something meaningful. Marcus, he's tougher, more guarded, but he's carrying scars from a past he doesn't talk about. He's the guy who'd rather solve everyone else's problems than face his own. Sound familiar? We all know someone like that. Or maybe we are that person. These two aren't superheroes or larger-than-life celebrities. They're just regular folks who get thrown into an extraordinary situation. And that's what makes this story so gripping. It could happen to anyone. It could happen to you. Imagine opening a suitcase and finding something that makes your stomach drop. Would you dig deeper, or would you pretend you never saw it? Be honest with me. You're already thinking about it, aren't you? That's why you're gonna love this story. It's not just about what's in the bags. It's about what happens when two strangers are forced to confront secrets they weren't ready for. It's about fate, choices, and the kind of twists that make you rethink everything. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, this sounds good, but what's the catch? Why should I keep watching? Here's my promise to you. This story isn't just a random tale I cooked up to kill time. It's a journey packed with moments that'll make you laugh, gasp, and maybe even tear up a little. You're gonna see Sarah and Marcus unravel the mystery piece by piece, and every step of the way, you'll be right there with them. I'm not gonna bore you with endless setup or pointless drama. Every scene, every clue, every twist is designed to pull you deeper into the story. You're not just a viewer. You're my partner in this. I'm telling you this story like we're sitting on a couch together, swapping secrets over coffee. You're gonna feel like you know Sarah and Marcus, like you're rooting for them, yelling at them to make the right choice or run from danger. And the best part? I'm not gonna leave you hanging with some vague, unsatisfying ending. You'll get answers, big, bold, mind-blowing answers that tie it all together. But you've gotta stick with me, because the twists are coming, and they're gonna hit like a freight train. You ready to find out what's in those bags? You ready to see how far Sarah and Marcus will go to uncover the truth? I know you are. Let's keep going. So where were we? Oh right, Sarah and Marcus, standing in baggage claim, each holding a bag that doesn't belong to them. They don't know it yet, but that moment is the spark that lights the fuse. Sarah's back at her hotel, ready to crash, when she pops open the suitcase and finds something that makes her freeze. Marcus, in a dive bar across town, unzips his duffel and sees something that makes his old cop instincts kick into high gear. I'm not gonna tell you what they find. Not yet. But let's just say it's enough to make them both wonder if they've stumbled into something way bigger than a simple mix-up. Is it a coincidence? A setup? Or something else entirely? You're dying to know, aren't you? I can see you leaning closer to the screen, itching for the next part. And I'm gonna give it to you. But not before we set the stakes. Because this isn't just about two people and some luggage. It's about what happens when your life collides with someone else's, when secrets you didn't even know you were carrying start spilling out. Sarah and Marcus are about to be pulled into a game they didn't sign up for, and the only way out is through. Will they team up? Turn on each other? Or uncover something so shocking it changes who they are? You're gonna find out, but only if you keep watching. Right now, they're standing on the edge of a cliff, and one wrong step could send them plummeting. What's in those bags, and why does it feel like someone's watching their every move? Hit that play button, because the answers are coming, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Okay, you're still here, and I'm thrilled because we're about to dive deeper into the wild ride that is their luggage got switched, and so did their fates. You're strapped in, right? Good, because Sarah and Marcus are standing on the edge of something huge, and the ground's starting to crumble beneath them. Let's pick up right where we left off. Sarah's in her hotel room, staring at the open suitcase, her heart pounding like it's trying to escape her chest. Marcus, across town in a dimly lit bar, is gripping the duffel bag with knuckles gone white, his jaw tight as he processes what he's just seen. You're dying to know what's in those bags, aren't you? I'm not gonna spill it all just yet. Trust me, it's worth the wait. But I promise you, the clues are piling up, and every one of them is a breadcrumb leading to a truth that's bigger, darker, and way more twisted than either of them could have imagined. This isn't just about a mix-up anymore. It's about two lives colliding in a way that feels like fate's playing a dangerous game. You've got that itch to know more, that feeling you get when you're binging a true crime doc or scrolling through TikTok videos tagged #mysteryvibes or #travelgonewrong. I'm here to feed that curiosity, so let's peel back the layers of Sarah and Marcus's story, introduce a few new faces, and crank up the suspense until you're practically yelling at the screen to know what happens next. Let's start with Sarah, because she's the one you're probably relating to right now. She's sitting on the edge of her hotel bed, the Chicago skyline glittering through the window, but she's not seeing any of it. Her hands are trembling as she stares into the suitcase. Not hers, definitely not hers, and tries to make sense of what she's found. Sarah's no stranger to chaos. She's a graphic designer who thrives under tight deadlines and impossible clients, but this is different. This isn't a missed flight or a botched project. This is the kind of thing that makes you question everything, like stumbling across a secret room in a house you've lived in for years. She's always been the planner, the one with a color-coded calendar and a backup plan for her backup plan, but nothing could have prepared her for this. You know that feeling, don't you? When life throws you a curveball so wild it makes you wonder if you've been living in a bubble. Sarah's bubble just popped, and she's starting to realize that the contents of this suitcase might be connected to something she's been running from. A piece of her past she thought she'd buried back in Seattle. Maybe it's a memory of her estranged sister, Lily, who vanished from her life 5 years ago after a fight they never resolved. Sarah doesn't talk about Lily, not to her friends, not to her therapist, but the suitcase is stirring up questions she's not ready to answer. Did she grab the wrong bag by accident, or was it meant for her? And why does it feel like someone's watching her, like the moment she opened that suitcase, she tripped an invisible wire? You're hooked, aren't you? You're wondering what's in that bag and how it ties to Lily. Hold tight. I'm getting there, but first, let's check in on Marcus. Across town, Marcus is nursing a whiskey in a bar that smells like stale beer and regret. The kind of place where nobody asks questions if you keep your head down. He's not here to drink, though. He's here to think. The duffel bag sitting at his feet, unzipped just enough for him to know he's in deep trouble. Marcus is a guy who spent his life chasing answers, first as a cop, then as a PI, but this is different. This isn't a case he was hired to solve. This is personal now. The thing about Marcus is, he's built a wall around himself ever since he left the force 3 years ago. He doesn't talk about why he quit, but you can see it in the way he carries himself. Shoulders hunched, eyes always scanning the room like he's waiting for a fight. Whatever's in that bag, it's hit a nerve, something tied to a case he worked years ago, one that cost him more than he'll ever admit. Maybe it's a name he thought he'd never hear again. A ghost from a past he's been trying to outrun. You know that feeling when the past comes knocking, and you'd rather pretend you're not home? That's Marcus, except he can't ignore this. The clues in the bag are pointing to someone he thought was long gone, someone he failed to save. And now, with that guy in the corner still pretending to read the same page of his newspaper for too long, Marcus is starting to think he's being watched. Is he being paranoid, or is he right? You're starting to feel that same unease, aren't you? That's what makes this story so addictive. It's not just about Sarah and Marcus. It's about that feeling we all get when we realize we're in over our heads. Now let's throw in a new layer, because this story's got more twists than a viral TikTok plot twist challenge. Enter Claire, a 28-year-old flight attendant who was working the counter at O'Hare when Sarah and Marcus grabbed their bags. Claire's the kind of person you barely notice. Always smiling, always professional, but behind those perfect teeth and neatly pinned hair, she's got her own secrets. She's been working double shifts to save up for a fresh start, maybe a little beach house in Florida where she can leave her past behind. But Claire saw something at baggage claim that day. Something she wasn't supposed to see. Maybe it was a man in a dark coat lingering too long near the conveyor belt, or maybe it was the way Sarah and Marcus reached for those bags at the exact same moment, like it was choreographed. Claire's not sure what it means, but she's got a bad feeling, the kind that makes you check your locks twice before bed. She's trying to stay out of it, to focus on her own life, but when she gets a cryptic text later that night from an unknown number, her stomach drops. "You saw too much," it says. No name, no context, just those 4 words lighting up her phone screen. Now Claire's wondering if she's just a witness or if she's part of this mess too. You know that moment when you stumble into something you wish you hadn't? Like overhearing a conversation that wasn't meant for you? That's Claire right now, and her story's about to tangle with Sarah and Marcus's in ways none of them see coming. You're already trying to connect the dots, aren't you? I love that about you. You're in this with me, piecing it together like a true crime junkie. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about the world we're in, because it's not just about these three people. It's about the bigger picture. It's December 2024, and the internet's buzzing with holiday travel chaos, trending hashtags like hashtag airport nightmares and hashtag travel hacks. You've seen those YouTube videos blowing up, vlogs about lost luggage, crazy airport stories, people sharing their worst travel fails. This story fits right into that vibe. But it's so much more. It's not just about a mix-up. It's about how one small moment can ripple out and change everything. Think about it. How many times have you grabbed the wrong coffee at Starbucks or bumped into someone and wondered if it meant something? Sarah, Marcus, and Claire are caught in a web that's starting to feel like it was spun on purpose. The suitcases aren't just random. They're keys to a puzzle that spans cities, maybe even countries. Is it a crime ring? A personal vendetta? Or something even stranger? Like a conspiracy you'd see in a Netflix thriller? I'm not gonna give it away yet, but let's just say the clues in those bags point to someone, or something, pulling strings from the shadows. You're feeling that chill, aren't you? That mix of excitement and dread that keeps you clicking next episode, because you have to know what happens. That's what this story's all about. Keeping you on the edge, making you feel like you're right there with Sarah, Marcus, and Claire as they try to figure out who's playing them and why. Now, let's deepen the stakes for Sarah. Back in her hotel room, she's pacing, trying to decide what to do. The suitcase is still open, and every time she looks at it, her mind races with questions. Should she call the airline? The police? Or should she dig deeper, follow the trail wherever it leads? Sarah's not a risk-taker by nature. She's the one who double-checks her smoke alarms and keeps an emergency kit in her car, but something about this feels personal. That connection to her sister, Lily, is gnawing at her. 5 years ago, Lily walked out of Sarah's life after a blowout fight over money, family, and secrets neither of them wanted to face. Sarah's always blamed herself, wondering if she could have said something different, done something to keep Lily from disappearing. Now, with this suitcase in front of her, she's starting to wonder if Lily's closer than she thought. Maybe the suitcase holds a clue to where Lily went, or why she left. You've had those moments, haven't you? When you wish you could go back and fix a broken relationship, make things right with someone you lost. Sarah's feeling that now, and it's pushing her to do something reckless. Something that might put her in the crosshairs of whoever set this whole thing in motion. You're rooting for her, I can tell, but you're also worried, because you know this isn't just about finding answers anymore. It's about survival. Marcus, meanwhile, is slipping back into his old cop mindset, but it's not as easy as it used to be. He's sitting in that bar, ignoring the whiskey and scribbling notes on a napkin, trying to piece together what he's found in the duffel. His years on the force taught him to trust his instincts, and right now, they're screaming that this isn't random. The bag's contents are tied to a case he worked back in Atlanta, one that ended so badly it cost him his badge and his faith in people. He doesn't talk about it, not to his clients, not to the few friends he's got left, but the memories are flooding back now, and they're not pretty. You know that feeling when the past comes knocking, and you'd rather pretend you're not home? That's Marcus, except he can't ignore this. The clues in the bag are pointing to someone he thought was long gone, someone he failed to save. And now, with that guy in the corner still pretending to read his newspaper, Marcus is starting to think he's being watched. Maybe it's paranoia, or maybe it's the instincts that kept him alive all those years. Either way, he's not about to let this go. He's already planning his next move, tracking down the owner of the suitcase, figuring out why it ended up in his hands. But the deeper he digs, the more he's starting to wonder if he's the hunter or the prey. You're feeling that tension, aren't you? That knot in your stomach that says this is about to get real. And then there's Claire, our wild card. She's back at her tiny apartment, staring at that cryptic text, "You saw too much." Her hands are shaking as she deletes it, but the words are burned into her brain. Claire spent her whole career blending into the background, smiling at passengers, handing out pretzels, dodging creepy guys who think flight attendants are fair game, but now she's front and center in something she doesn't understand. She's replaying that moment at baggage claim, trying to remember every detail. Was it the man in the coat? The way the bag seemed to appear at the perfect moment for Sarah and Marcus to grab them? Or was it something else? Something she didn't even realize she saw? Claire's not a detective. She's just a woman trying to survive in a world that's always asking her to smile and nod, but she's smart, and she's tough. She's already Googling ways to trace an unknown number, scrolling through X posts about hashtag travel mysteries to see if anyone's talking about weird stuff at O'Hare. You've been in her shoes, haven't you? That moment when you realize you're caught up in something bigger than you, and you've got to decide whether to run or fight. Claire's not sure yet, but she's starting to think running isn't an option. And when she gets another text, this one with a photo of her at the airport, her blood runs cold. Someone's watching her, and they want her to know it. So where does this leave us? Sarah's in her hotel room, wrestling with ghosts from her past and a suitcase that's more questions than answers. Marcus is in a bar, piecing together a puzzle that's starting to look like a trap. Claire's at home, staring at a phone that's become a ticking time bomb. 3 strangers, 3 lives, all tangled up because of 2 suitcases that weren't supposed to be theirs. You're on the edge of your seat, aren't you? I can feel it. You're dying to know what's in those bags, who's pulling the strings, and how these 3 are connected. Is it a coincidence, or is someone playing a game with stakes higher than any of them can imagine? You're thinking about all those trending YouTube searches, hashtag mystery, hashtag suspense, hashtag plot twist, and this story's got it all. But here's the thing. We're just getting started. The clues are piling up, the tension's building, and the truth is still out there, waiting to be uncovered. Sarah's about to make a choice that could change everything. Marcus is one step away from a discovery that might break him. And Claire? She's about to stumble into something that makes that text message look like a warm-up. You want answers? I'm gonna give them to you, but you've gotta stick with me. Because right now, someone's watching all 3 of them, and the next move is gonna change the game forever. Keep watching because you don't want to miss what's coming. Alright, you're still with me, and I'm pumped because things are about to get wilder and their luggage got switched, and so did their fates. You're right there with Sarah, Marcus and Claire, feeling that knot in your stomach as the mystery deepens, and I can tell you're hooked, just like I am, dying to know how this tangled web unravels. We left Sarah pacing in her hotel room, staring at a suitcase that's got her questioning everything. Maybe even her missing sister, Lily. Marcus is in a gritty bar, his old cop instincts screaming that the duffel bag at his feet is no accident. It's tied to a past he can't escape. And Claire, our flight attendant, is freaking out in her apartment, clutching her phone after a chilling text and a photo that proves someone's watching her. You're probably thinking, okay, what's next? What's in those bags and who's behind this? I'm not gonna spill it all yet. Oh no, we're building to something huge. But I promise you, this section's gonna hit you with a twist that'll make your jaw drop, the kind of hashtag plot twist moment that's trending all over YouTube and TikTok. The stakes are about to skyrocket, and just when you think you've got a handle on this story, I'm gonna flip the script and leave you desperate for more. Let's dive back into this thriller and see how fate's tightening the noose around our trio. Sarah's still in her hotel room, the Chicago wind howling outside like it's trying to warn her about something. She's stopped pacing now, sitting cross-legged on the floor, the suitcase open in front of her like a Pandora's box she wishes she'd never touched. Whatever's inside, and trust me it's not just socks and toothpaste, has her heart racing, but it's also lit a spark she hasn't felt in years. You know that moment when you're scared out of your mind but also weirdly alive, like when you're watching a true crime video late at night and you're half expecting someone to knock on your door. That's Sarah right now. She's found something in the suitcase that feels like a direct line to her sister, Lily, a clue that suggests Lily didn't just disappear. She might be out there, caught up in something dangerous. Maybe it's a note in Lily's handwriting, or a photo that stirs a memory Sarah's tried to bury. She's tempted to call the police, to hand this whole mess over to someone else, but the thought of Lily keeps her glued to that suitcase. You've felt that pull, haven't you? That need to keep digging, even when every instinct tells you to run. Sarah's about to make a choice that'll change everything. She decides to follow the clue, to track down where it leads, even if it means walking straight into danger. But here's where it gets weird. She finds a burner phone tucked in the suitcase's lining, and when it buzzes, the screen lights up with a single message: "Don't tell anyone. Meet me at Union Station, midnight." No name, no context, just a time and a place. Sarah's stomach flips. Is this Lily? A trap? Or something else entirely? You're feeling that chill, aren't you? That hashtag mystery vibes rush that makes you want to scream, "Don't go!" But also, tell me what happens. She's got no idea what's waiting for her, but she's about to step into a game she's not ready to play. Meanwhile, Marcus is slipping out of the bar, the duffel bag slung over his shoulder, his eyes scanning the street for that guy who was watching him earlier. The Chicago night is cold, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones, but Marcus barely feels it. He's too focused on the puzzle in his head. Whatever's in that duffel has dragged him back to a case that broke him 3 years ago. A case that ended with blood on his hands and a resignation letter he didn't want to write. You know that feeling when the past creeps up on you, like a shadow you can't shake? That's Marcus, except this shadow's got teeth. The duffel's contents, a file, maybe, or an object tied to that old case, point to someone he thought was dead, someone he failed to protect. He's trying to stay sharp, to think like the cop he used to be, but the whiskey and the memories are making it hard. He's headed to his motel, planning to dig deeper, when he notices a car tailing him, its headlights just a little too close. Marcus isn't the type to panic. He's been in worse spots, but this feels different. It's not just about him anymore. It's about whoever set this up, whoever wanted him to find this bag. And then bam, here's the twist. His phone pings with a text from an unknown number, and it's a photo of Sarah at baggage claim, grabbing the red suitcase. The message reads, "Find her, or you're both done." Marcus freezes. Who's this woman? Why does she matter? And how the hell does whoever's behind this know he's got the bag? You're reeling, aren't you? This is the kind of hashtag suspense moment that's got YouTube comments blowing up with theories. Marcus doesn't know Sarah, but now he's got to find her, and fast, before whoever's watching makes their next move. Claire's subplot is heating up too, and it's about to tie into this mess in a way you won't see coming. She's locked her apartment door, double-checked the windows, but that photo on her phone, the one of her at the airport, has her on edge. She's no stranger to creepy passengers or weird vibes on flights, but this is next level. You've been there, right? That moment when you realize you're not just imagining things. Someone's actually out to get you. Claire's trying to stay calm, scrolling through X posts about hashtag travel mysteries, hoping to find something that makes sense of this. She's piecing together what she saw at baggage claim, the man in the dark coat, the way the bag seemed to appear at the perfect moment, almost like someone planned it. She's starting to think she wasn't just a bystander. She might have been part of the setup without knowing it. Claire's not the type to sit still, so she digs out her work schedule, trying to remember if anyone on that flight stood out. And that's when she finds it, a passenger manifest from the flight Sarah was on, tucked away in her work bag. One name jumps out, a name she's seen before, maybe in a news article, maybe tied to something shady. You're getting that true crime itch, aren't you? That need to connect the dots, to figure out how it all fits. But before Claire can do anything, her phone buzzes again, and this time it's a video call from a blocked number. Against her better judgment, she answers, and the screen shows a grainy feed of Union Station, packed with late-night travelers. A voice, distorted and low, says, "Be there at midnight, or the next photo's your last." Claire's heart stops. Union Station? Midnight? The same place Sarah's headed? This isn't a coincidence anymore. It's a collision course, and Claire's caught in the middle. Now, let's pull back and look at the bigger picture, because this story's getting crazier by the second. It's still December 2024, and the internet's buzzing with hashtag airport nightmares and hashtag travel hacks. But Sarah, Marcus, and Claire are living a nightmare that's way beyond a delayed flight or lost luggage. The suitcases, the texts, the photo, the video call, they're all pieces of a puzzle that's starting to feel like a trap set by someone with a lot of power and even more to hide. You're probably thinking about those viral YouTube videos where someone uncovers a conspiracy or a hidden truth, the kind that rack up millions of views because they tap into that universal fear. What if we're not in control of our own lives? That's what's happening here. Sarah's clue about Lily is pulling her toward Union Station, but she's walking into something she can't predict. Marcus is being forced to find a woman he's never met, with his own past breathing down his neck. And Claire's being dragged into a game she didn't sign up for, all because she saw something she shouldn't have. The twist with the texts and the photo of Sarah ties them together in a way that screams this was no accident. Someone's orchestrating this, someone who knows more about Sarah, Marcus, and Claire than they know about themselves. Is it about Lily? Marcus's old case? Or something bigger, like a hashtag conspiracy theory straight out of a Netflix thriller? You're on the edge of your seat, I can feel it, and I'm loving that you're as obsessed with this as I am. Let's crank up the stakes even more, because this is where the story starts to feel like a runaway train. Sarah's packing up the suitcase, her mind made up. She's going to Union Station, even if it's a terrible idea. She's not thinking straight. She's thinking about Lily, about the fight that tore them apart, about the guilt that's been eating her alive for 5 years. You know that feeling when you do anything to fix a mistake, even if it means risking everything? That's Sarah, slipping on her coat, checking the burner phone again, her hands shaking but her resolve hardening. She's got no idea Marcus is out there, looking for her, or that Claire's being pulled to the same spot. Marcus, meanwhile, is in his car, the photo of Sarah burned into his brain. He's running through every case he ever worked, every enemy he ever made, trying to figure out who's behind this and why they're targeting him. The car that was tailing him earlier is gone, but he's not stupid. He knows they're still out there, watching. And Claire? She's grabbing her keys, her mind racing as she tries to decide whether to go to Union Station or disappear. But that video call, that distorted voice, it's not just a threat, it's a promise. You've felt that panic, haven't you? When you realize there's no way out, only through. All three of them are converging on Union Station at midnight, each driven by their own fears, their own secrets, and none of them know they're about to walk into the same trap. Here's where the twist hits harder, because I know you're craving that #mind-blown moment. As Sarah's heading out her hotel door, she bumps into a man in the hallway. Tall, dark coat, face half hidden by a scarf. He doesn't say anything, just brushes past her, but there's something in his eyes that makes her freeze. It's not just that he looks familiar. It's that he knows her. She shakes it off, chalking it up to nerves, but when she gets to the elevator, she finds a note slipped under her door. "You're closer than you think." Her blood runs cold. Is this about Lily? The suitcase? Or something she doesn't even know about yet? Across town, Marcus is pulling into a parking lot near Union Station when his phone buzzes again. This time, it's not a text, it's a live feed, showing Sarah walking out of her hotel, oblivious to the man in the dark coat following her. The message below reads, "She's not the only one you're looking for." Marcus's heart skips a beat. There's someone else? Another player in this game? And Claire, stepping out of her apartment, sees the same man in the dark coat across the street, watching her. She ducks back inside, her breath hitching, but not before she notices something chilling. He's carrying a bag identical to the one Sarah grabbed at the airport. You're screaming at the screen now, aren't you? Who's this guy? What's with the bags? And how are Sarah, Marcus, and Claire all connected to him? This is the kind of #suspense history that's got YouTube buzzing, and we're not done yet. Midnight's coming, Union Station's waiting, and the truth is closer than any of them realize, but it's gonna come at a price. Keep watching because this twist is just the beginning, and what happens next will blow your mind. You're still here, and I'm buzzing with excitement because we're about to hit the peak of their luggage got switched, and so did their fates. This is it, the moment you've been waiting for, where all the threads of this wild #mystery vibes thriller come together, and the truth behind those swapped suitcases, cryptic texts, and that shadowy man in the dark coat finally comes to light. We left Sarah, Marcus, and Claire barreling toward Union Station at midnight, each pulled by their own secrets and fears, unaware they're all pieces in the same dangerous puzzle. Sarah's chasing a clue she thinks might lead to her missing sister, Lily, driven by guilt and hope. Marcus is on a mission to find Sarah, haunted by a past case and a threatening message that's got him looking over his shoulder. Claire's been dragged into this mess by a chilling video call, her instincts screaming that she's not just a witness but a target. You've been with me through every twist, every heart-pounding moment, and I can feel you leaning in, desperate for answers to those burning questions. What's in the bags? Who's the man in the dark coat? And how are these three strangers connected? We're diving into the climax now, and I promise you, it's gonna be a #plot twist roller coaster that'll leave you gasping, with a final twist that'll have you hitting replay to catch every clue you missed. Let's wrap this up with a bang and give you the satisfying ending you deserve, one that'll stick with you long after the video ends. It's midnight at Union Station, and the place is a chaotic blend of late-night travelers, flickering fluorescent lights, and the distant rumble of trains. Sarah's there first, clutching the red suitcase, her heart hammering as she scans the crowd for whoever sent that burner phone message. The note she found under her hotel door, "You're closer than you think," is burning a hole in her pocket, and she's torn between hope that it's Lily and dread that it's a trap. You know that feeling, right? When you're standing on the edge of something huge, and every choice feels like it could make or break you. Sarah's trying to stay calm, but the man in the dark coat she bumped into at the hotel is stuck in her mind. Those eyes, that fleeting sense of recognition. She's about to give up, thinking she's been played, when she spots a figure near the platform, half hidden in the shadows. It's a woman, and for a split second, Sarah's breath catches. Could it be Lily? But before she can move, Marcus steps into the station, his duffel bag heavy on his shoulder, his eyes locked on Sarah from across the concourse. He's seen her face in that texted photo, and now, seeing her in person, He's sure she's the key to whatever's going on. But he's not alone. Claire's just arrived, her pulse racing after that terrifying video call, and she's scanning the crowd for the man in the dark coat, the one she saw outside her apartment with a bag just like Sarah's. The air's thick with tension, like the moment before a storm breaks, and you're probably yelling at the screen, "They're all here. What's gonna happen?" Hold on tight, because this is where it all collides. Sarah takes a step toward the shadowy figure, her heart screaming that it's Lily.